Maintenance man here talking about wall spreaders. What the hell is a wall spreader? I'm so glad you asked. It's a tool used by grips to create a span between two walls for rigging lights, flags, props, cameras, or whatever. Since rooms usually don't have built-in baby pins on the walls and ceilings, we use wall spreaders to create mount points. These wall spreaders are about $100 each, but they require you to cut 2x4s or 2x6s to fit the space. So you'll need full-size lumber and a saw on set. But can't we just replace the wall spreader with a $30 ratcheting cargo bar? In most cases you can, and it may be a better option. So let's take a look at all of these and show you how they work on set. So here's our wall spreaders. We've got a 2x6 wall spreader, and the way this works, one side goes on the wall there, and the other side is adjustable with this little bolt. And that goes up on the other side. But then we have to cut lumber to go between it, and then tighten it up so that it's in space. So it fits in the space. This 2x4 wall spreader is a little bit smaller, and I've already cut the lumber to fit. And then tighten this nut. I can now tighten that in there, and I have, if I'm straight, have something that I can mount my lights on. You would typically use something like Cardellini clamp. When I go down on the bottom of it, I want to go here. I can set that up, and now I have a place to mount my light. And you're probably asking, well, why wouldn't you just use a stand? Well, we wouldn't use a stand because we actually want to go up higher, and if we can't nail to the ceiling or clamp something on the ceiling, this is the only way that we're going to be able to get up there and have the actors walk under it. So if they're coming in this door, coming through, we want to get our light up there shining. We can then use our light and have that on the ceiling so we can illuminate the room and get rid of these other lights and illuminate the room from the ceiling without drilling holes in the ceiling and attaching boards. It's pretty sturdy. You can put cameras on it depending on how you have it set up. I'm not straight here, so I have a problem. But as you can see, it's a little bit of a struggle. As you're struggling with it, not to mention you had to cut the lumber to size, and when I go to put it someplace else, guess what? I need to cut another piece of lumber, which is definitely not ideal. Okay, so I used a piece of foam which you would use to protect the wall, but in this case, the ratchets wouldn't become tight, and you can see I don't have it straight, but the ratchets wouldn't become tight because it's not that flexible. So using something flexible like that's going to give you a little more play. Then using something like this small rig super clamp, which is $5, and a Cupo. These Cupo pins for another $10, so $15 for a clamp, as opposed to Mathellini or Cardellini clamp for $100. $30 for the bar. This is a $20 light that we purchased. We can accomplish the same thing for a whole lot less money, and when we take this apart, we can use it someplace else without cutting a new board. So this is a cargo bar that gets used for pickup trucks. You buy them on Harbor Freight. I got this one on Amazon for $30. You can get them down as low as $20. You can get them in different sizes, size ranges, and it's a really good option for being able to mount a light. You could also go ceiling to floor if you wanted to go ceiling to floor and put something in there, and you can imagine being able to put a mounting point here is going to be really nice if you can't get a stand in here. And if you're only shooting down here, if I'm only small and I'm walking. Imagine if it was up on the ceiling. I can't reach up to the ceiling, but you can imagine you've got your light set up. And what's nice is if you have something like this little $22 tube light and you set it up as a malfunctioning light bulb, and if you shoot down low here with me sitting in a hallway drinking a beer with the light bulb over my head. Now if I had actors walking under it, I could go up to the ceiling, but it's a nice option. The wall spreaders are good if you're using RE cameras and you're trying to use heavy loads. The wall spreaders with the 2x4s and 2x6s are great, but also have to consider your walls. Now this is concrete block. We go up in the front of the building, we have sheetrock, and as you start putting pressure on sheetrock, you have to make sure that your studs are behind the wall where you're putting your supports, or you'll break the sheetrock very quickly, and it's going to get really expensive. Unless you know how to fix sheetrock and you do it before the homeowner comes home. So if this was up higher, I wanted to replace those lights, dim the lights down. We can't have a light stand in here because it would be in the way unless we stuck it through the door or something and tried to take it out of the shot. But we could push this almost up to the ceiling and literally control that light to do whatever we want. So as opposed to the main lights, gives a lot more options, and it's a simple bar. Now, will it come out? There we go, get it out. So pay attention when you're using walls, because we know we have a stud here, which is holding this doorway right here, and every 16 inches we have a stud. There's probably a stud here because this is attached to it. Wherever we have a plug, we know we have a stud on one side, usually. But this would be strong enough that if we start ratcheting it, it's going to go and push and break that sheetrock. So you can use wood, you can use foam. We used foam, which really made it usable, because without the foam, the ratchet didn't work. So a couple little pieces of foam, and we just put it in place, and it gives us something solid. So if we're not pushing too hard, but be careful, this is 9/16 fire code drywall, where if you're inside a house, they could have 1/2 inch drywall on the wall, or even 3/8 drywall if they're really cheap, and you could potentially push right through it. So get it out, and goes up. Now if we wanted to use the other bar in here, we would have to cut a new piece of lumber because this is a different size. So this is great, 30 bucks. You can get them in different sizes, different lengths and different ranges. This one goes, I think, whatever that length is to that. So almost 6 feet down to 3.5. You can get them different sizes, and again, you could put them, if you got long enough, you could put them someplace like this and connect to the side of it. So very useful. Matthews actually has math poles, but they're $200 to $300 each. $200 for a short one, $300 for a long one. Does the same thing, and it's 30 bucks. It's not like the grips don't know about this. They just go and buy poles from Kupo or Matthews, and they spend hundreds of dollars on them. These are super cheap. Anybody can afford it, and especially if you're going into an office or doing something and you want to go 7-8 foot span, 30 bucks. As you can see, being able to span a wall can be very useful on set. But if you can't afford to pay a grip and a gaffer $1,000 a day so they can carry extra lumber and saws, something like this $30 cargo bar can be just as useful, if not even better. At Mr. Dog Poop Studios, we're always looking for cheaper, faster options to bring down production costs for our customers and increase our profits. I hope you found this tutorial helpful, and if so, please subscribe and check out more of our cost and time-saving ideas. I need to start drinking an hour before I do this.
Why?
To deal with you!
What did I do?
Kicking the post, bouncing up and down, jumping like a goddamn fucking red bouncing ball in front of us. Anybody with a brain or a bachelor's degree would fire you in a minute. Good thing I don't have a bachelor's degree.
Or a high school diploma.
Or a high school diploma.